it's Jay. Today's video is a tag. I was tagged by the beautiful Heidi at Scented Heaven Fragrance Reviews. Go ahead and check her out. She has great presentation, great taste in fragrances. I'm sure you love her channel, so go ahead and check her out. So this tag is 5 fragrances I love and 5 fragrances I hate. This was difficult for me. As you'll probably know, I have a lot of fragrances that I love. I love my collection. And so what I did to make it easier for myself, I just chose what spoke to me at the moment and kind of whittled it down from there. I do have an honorable mention, but you know, the dislikes were much easier. I don't have many that I dislike. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll start with the dislikes. So the first fragrance is a strong dislike. This is as close to hate as I'll probably get with any fragrance, and it's Aromatics Elixir by Clinique. Now, that fragrance is just, it's very vintage, and that's not a bad thing. It's everything that I'm about to mention in combination with each other, you know, in conjunction with each other. So the vintage nature of it, this fragrance came out in the 70s, I think the mid 70s, where chypres were becoming very popular, especially with women. It's very strong. It's very long lasting. It's very thick, and it's very earthy. Okay, so I don't mind aromatic notes. I don't mind herbal notes in fragrances if they're done, you know, in a way that suits me. I do mind strong notes of oak moss and strong notes of vetiver, and this fragrance has both, and they just hang in the air. And I always talk about a cloud around you. Now this is a thick, like ominous cloud for me. I have someone that's very close to me that used to spray it, and I would try to get through or past them as quickly as possible because it just doesn't smell good to me, right? So that is the first close to hate as I'll ever have. That's Clinique Aromatics Elixir. It has floral notes in it, but all I get is the strong, earthy, thick nature, and I just don't like it. So that's that. The next fragrance is really on the other end if we're going to talk about being too heavy and too thick. This is Versace Absolute. No, this is Versace Bright Crystal. Everything in the notes, you know, it would translate, it would, you know, interpret to be something that is not hard to wear. And I know that a lot of people do love this fragrance probably because of that, but for me, it's harsh and it's very screechy. It's very high pitched. Okay, so it's rose or maybe peony. I think it has maybe both, and it's fresh, but it's that screechy type of astringent freshness that's really disturbing to me. And that's a strong word, but it's true. It's something that I can't wear it on my skin. Now, if someone were walking by me and I got a whiff of them, I wouldn't be bothered, but just on my skin, it just never settles down, and I feel like it just never stops, you know? So it's not smooth to me. So that's that. That's Versace Bright Crystal. The next fragrance is Alien. And I don't know why I don't like that fragrance either. It's jasmine, there's amber, woods, again, something that is seemingly beautiful when you talk about the notes. They're all things that I like. But in combination and the way that the composition is put together on my skin when I wear it, it overtakes me. It just feels like it is way too much, and it's always something that makes me feel uncomfortable. Again, it's something that I would enjoy and that I do enjoy smelling on other people, but when it's just me, when it's hanging around that close to me, I feel like it's just too much for me. So that is Alien. The next fragrance that I should have loved, and I just don't like it on me, is Black Phantom by Kilian. That fragrance, I like gourmands. I like sweet fragrances, especially when it's cooler outside. This fragrance has chocolate, there's rum, I love a boozy note. I think there's caramel, there's tobacco, love a tobacco note. So all of that together in one fragrance, I was so excited. I'm glad that I didn't get a full bottle. I did order a decant, And the way that it just came together, I don't know, maybe something about the way that the tobacco and the chocolate mixed together, along with the rum. I don't know. It just felt very, very masculine on my skin. And also it felt like pungent, but not in that sweet, good way. Like a tobacco can be very pungent, but in a sweet, kind of sexy way. But this was a pungent. It just didn't seem like everything blended as well as it should have in that fragrance. So I did not like Black Phantom by Kilian. Another one that should have been an easy like is one that I mentioned very recently, actually, in my Moresque video. It was the Royale, the Secret Garden, or the Garden Collection. I'll put it up, but it was called Royale. So anyway, it had peach, it had rhubarb, there was iris, things that are really easy for me to like. But when it translated on my skin, I actually wore it to see. I wore it to work. So I did wear it for a day. It gave me that same very synthetic, and synthetic is not bad, but the synthetic in the way that this was synthetic, chemically synthetic, it made me feel, you know, like that stereotype where there's a woman who has on too much fragrance, but in a bad way, where people are kind of, you know, that's the perfume lady. It's very perfumey. It doesn't smell like anything, like the peach. You can't pick out the peach. You can't pick out the rhubarb. The flowers just are very, it doesn't soften, like there's iris in there, so it seems like it would be softer and powdery. It didn't soften. It's in the same way maybe that Versace, the Absolute would be, just very high-pitched, just very chemical smelling. So I couldn't wait to get that one off. And normally I'll give fragrances a few wears before I make a decision, but that one I knew right away that I didn't like, so I'm definitely going to get rid of that one. That was a blind buy, so that was a fail for me. But that is Moresque Royale by the Secret Collection. So those are 5 fragrances that I don't like, that I hate. Sorry if you like them, I just don't. But the next ones are ones that I love. I chose these, let's see, this is my honorable mention. I made categories. I love Do Not Disturb by Vilhelm. I don't think everybody would love this fragrance. So I love it for its uniqueness. This fragrance is so musky, but not only musky, it's fruity with blackcurrant, and it has some vetiver, and it has some, I think it has some carrot seeds in here. So it makes it kind of powdery, fruity, and smoky. The smoke is slight. I'm gonna spray this. The smoke, it's just all lovely, the way that it blends together. This is a sexy fragrance. And the berries are juicy when you first spray it. It's just, and the musk when it comes together. This fragrance, if you haven't tried Do Not Disturb by Vilhelm, at least get a sample. Like I said, I don't think it's for everybody, but this fragrance is really, really special. It's unique and it's beautiful. So try it out. That's Do Not Disturb by Vilhelm, okay? The next fragrance I love for its versatility, but also it has a uniqueness to it as well, I feel. This is Initio Musk Therapy. It's gonna be hard to show. I'm not gonna be able to get very close. But yeah, this is a musk fragrance. So I'm a lover of musk. If you're new here, I love all types of musk under that astringent, you know, to a certain point. I feel like this gets to that level of cleanliness, but there is a sandalwood note in here that is very, very beautiful, and that tones it down and makes it almost creamy. There is a creamy vibe to this fragrance, but in the cleanest way, which is really interesting and kind of hard to explain, or maybe even hard to understand unless you're wearing this fragrance, because it is a very, not sharp, kind of just underneath sharp, but very clean white musk. But again, that sandalwood note in here brings it down a little bit, smooths it out. and makes it a little bit creamy. So that is Initio Musk Therapy. Easy to wear on a day-to-day basis, anywhere. This fragrance can be worn anywhere. I don't see any restrictions on this fragrance. So this is a multi-purpose fragrance, anytime, any place. So I love this. This is Musk Therapy by Initio. This fragrance is my rose. So I haven't always liked rose fragrances. I had to acclimate my nose to the smell of rose. But once I was used to smelling it, I understood the types of roses that I like. That's also another thing. All roses are not the same. Some are very sweet and mature. Some smell like kind of potpourri. Some are very fresh. I do like the pinky fresh roses. I also like red fresh roses, okay? But I'm not choosing one of those fragrances for now. I'm choosing a pink fresh rose that is also very creamy and sweet at the same time, tart at the beginning, but is a very, very fresh, creamy, juicy, fruity rose. So this is Delina, and I could have easily chosen the exclusive since we're going into fall, but I'm gonna choose Delina as my beautiful rose fragrance. Fresh, creamy, fruity, juicy, sweet rose fragrance, tart. It's just a beautiful fragrance. So that's Delina. I couldn't help but love it. The next fragrance is another versatile fragrance, but this is one of my OGs. This is Dolce & Gabbana, the one. And again, this is a fragrance that is multi-purpose. This will always be in my collection. This is just peaches. This is vanilla. There's cleanliness to this fragrance, a little bit of sweetness to this fragrance. You get a lot of the peach when you first spray it. That dries down to a vanillic, powdery, clean feeling fragrance with just a hint of peach. You can tell there's a little bit of fruit in there. So this is definitely one that is kind of on the classy side. You know, now that I'm smelling it, I really love and will always have Dolce & Gabbana the one. It's just one that's also very, very versatile. One that is recent and new, well, recent and new, yes, to my collection. This is Bois d'Amande, and this is by Van Cleef and Arpels. This is their collection extraordinaire, and I love this one for its cozy nature. Now this is almond wood, okay? There's almond in here. It's a little bit powdery, and it's sweet. I don't know, it's a little bit woody, but it's soft. Something that I've been wearing to bed. I haven't worn it out yet, but this is really easy for me to reach for. Like I said, it's cozy, it's comforting. I think it would do well in the cooler weather, so I'm definitely loving on this new fragrance. So that's Bois d'Amande by Van Cleef and Arpels. The last one I got in a haul months ago, and I haven't talked about it since, but I've been spraying it from time to time, and I kind of waiting for the right moment to wear it. Haven't been out much, but this fragrance is beautiful. This is Dusita, and this is Moonlight in Chiangmai. Let me try to, there we go. Anyway, this is Moonlight in Chiangmai. This fragrance is marketed toward men, and I didn't really realize that until I saw the notes. Well, until I saw it. But the notes are yuzu. There's some woods in here. What you get in this fragrance is a juicy, sweet, citric note. It's almost like, so it's not quite, okay, let me get myself together. There is citrus in this fragrance. There is a lot of sweetness in this fragrance. It almost feels like an apple or a pear. It almost has that nature of pas de soie. So if you have smelled pas de soie, this is that same type of juicy, sweet, citric, kind of appley pear nature to it. but without the ginger. It's just the fruit. So the yuzu, that's how that comes across. When you first spray it, it's a little bitter. You do get a little bitter. So I think the way that I interpret it is kind of like the rind. Oh, it's nice. Very, very nice. And the type of wood that's in here, I think it mentions teak wood, but the way that it comes across to me is that sweet, airy, light woods. Kind of, if you're gonna think about it and compare it to something, now it doesn't smell like Baccarat Rouge 540, but that is the type of wood that's in here. It's very light, it's airy, and it's sweet. So I think that's where a lot of people give comparisons to the Baccarat Rouge, because the wood is done in that way. This fragrance, I mean, like you see, I've been spraying it. It's beautiful. If you haven't tried this, Moonlight in Chiangmai, so almost think of, if you need a comparison, it doesn't quite translate into these fragrances, but think of Pas de Soie mixed with Baccarat Rouge 540, and that is something very similar to Moonlight in Chiangmai, and it's really, really beautiful. So I think this is unisex. I think maybe the Bois d'Amande is unisex, and I think maybe the Musk Therapy would be unisex as well. The others, maybe even the Do Not Disturb. This could be unisex as well, depending on what you like. But yeah, those are my loves. I love going through them and kind of playing around to try to pick them. But thank you, Heidi, for texting me. What am I saying? Thank you for tagging me. And thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all my new subscribers. I really appreciate you guys, and I appreciate everybody who keeps coming back. So I guess I'll talk to you guys later, and have a good day. Love, Jay. Bye-bye.